Hey guys, welcome back to the Bay Area Sports Addiction. My name's Alex, and today we're going to preview the 2023 NBA playoffs for the Golden State Warriors. But before we get started, I'd like to please ask that everyone like and subscribe if you're here on YouTube. If you can't catch us on YouTube, you can find us anywhere you get your podcasts, like Spotify, Apple Podcasts. And if you'd like to stay up to date on everything Bay Area Sports Addiction, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. All right, let's get into this. The 6-3 matchup in the Western Conference, the Golden State Warriors at the 6 seed, the Sacramento Kings at the 3 seed. The Warriors are minus 300 favorites in this series. Obviously, they've had an amazing track record over the past decade. And let's face it, the Kings haven't been in the playoffs for 16 or so odd years. They have a few guys with playoff experience: Harrison Barnes, Kevin Huerter, Domantas Sabonis. I don't even know if he made it on the Pacers, but let's move on. The Kings had the number one offense in the NBA this year at 120.7 points per game. Golden State Warriors, number 2 offense in the NBA, 118.9 points per game. This is going to be a high-scoring series, especially because both teams were in the bottom half of the league in defense this year. According to NBA.com, the Golden State Warriors gave up 117.1 points per game, and the Sacramento Kings gave up 118.1 points per game. Yeah, these are going to be some high-scoring games. It's going to be some fast basketball. Obviously, with Mike Brown, probably Coach of the Year, former Warriors coach, he's really taken this Kings team to another level. Obviously, they picked up Sabonis at the trade deadline last year for Tyrese Haliburton. It was a very controversial trade, but obviously it worked out for them. And the Warriors this year have struggled on the road. Obviously, they are the lower seed in this matchup, so they're going to start first 2 games on the road. At least if it goes to 7, 4 of those games are going to be on the road. But however, in the last 10 games, the Warriors have been really hot. They've been 8-2 in their last 10. Obviously, given some of those games were against teams that weren't necessarily playing all of their best players. But over that span, an offensive rating of 124.2 points per game and a defensive rating of 110.8 points per game. That is significantly better than their averages over the entire span of the year. And I think this is really part of the Warriors starting to integrate Gary Payton II back into the lineup when he was returning from injury. And I think the Warriors defense could get even better incorporating Andrew Wiggins in for 20 to 25 minutes a game. He'll be coming off the bench, but the Warriors haven't seen him since before the All-Star break. Like this guy was the second best player on both sides of the ball, offensive and defense, in the finals last year for the Warriors. So I think the Wiggins addition back is going to be very key to the Warriors winning this series. Some advantages and disadvantages for either team that I came up with. I think the Warriors are going to be able to take advantage of Domantas Sabonis on the Kings defensive end. The Warriors do a really good job of switching guards onto the other team's big men, and you may have seen in some highlights over the past few days since this matchup has been consummated. Steph Curry likes to put guys in blenders, and Domantas Sabonis is one of those guys. The Kings, however, on the other hand, are going to be able to hurt the Warriors in transition, I think. The Warriors tend to overhelp when guys may collapse the defense which is obviously De'Aaron Fox is really good at doing this. And that usually leaves wide open 3-point shooters and is part of the reason why the Warriors had such a bad defense this year. So that could end up hurting the Warriors. But I think that the Dubs are going to be able to lock in for the playoffs here. They've been able to do it over the past 7-8 years now. I think Steph Curry's leadership, Klay Thompson's leadership, Draymond Green's leadership is going to be what proves to be the difference in this series. My prediction, personally, I'm going with Dubs in 5, and I one of my roommates here in the city, he's from Sacramento, and I know that the Kings do have a very strong fan base. It may not have seemed like that over the past 15, 16 years because they've not been very good. So I'm excited to see, Golden One Center is actually going to be rocking. They're going to be chanting for the beam, and we'll see if they can get that. I just think this series could end up being really quick, especially if the Warriors get a win in that first game on the road. I kind of see it ending up like the Memphis series last year. In the second round, obviously the Warriors were the 3 seed, Memphis was the 2 seed, so the Warriors go into Memphis, win game 1, and you kind of felt in control of that series right away. And that can happen here too. Obviously, the Warriors so much more playoff experience. They've won a road playoff game, and they've won a road playoff game in every series since 2013 that they've played in. So I just think it's almost a given at this point. However, the series could easily go sideways. The Warriors just need to calm down in transition. They have a lot of silly turnovers that just are giving away free possessions. Sometimes Dante DiVincenzo, Jordan Poole, Draymond Green will try and push the ball a little bit too fast, and it may get intercepted. It may just go flying out of bounds. I think that is going to have to stop, maybe slow down as much as possible if the Warriors are going to want to win the series quickly. Now I'm gonna talk about the rest of the first round in the NBA. I'll start with the 4-5. It's the Suns and the Clippers. I have the Suns in 5 games. Look, the Suns have Kevin Durant. Us Warriors fans know he's a killer in the playoffs, especially when he plays the Clippers. But yeah, right now the Clippers are without Paul George. Obviously, hyperextended his knee. Kawhi can maybe steal 1 or 2 games, but I think this is going to be a short series. Obviously, just touched on the Warriors-Kings 6-3 matchup. I have the Warriors in 5 games. In the 2-7 matchup, it's going to be Memphis against the Lakers. And this one's interesting. I have Memphis in 7, but this can go either way for me. That's why I have it going 7 games. Obviously, Ja Morant's a star, but the Lakers have LeBron James. So LeBron just steps it up for the playoffs, so I'm excited to see what he can do in this series against a young rising superstar like Ja. We're going to have to see if Anthony Davis can play at an elite level for however many games this series goes. And on the Memphis side, obviously they don't have Brandon Clark, they don't have Steven Adams, but guys are going to have to step up. They have Obviously, they're super young team. Desmond Bane's gonna have to make a lot of shots, and Jaren Jackson Jr. is gonna have to stay out of foul trouble. Obviously, this year one of the best defenders in the league, up for Defensive Player of the Year, but he can tend to get into foul trouble sometimes. So we're gonna have to see if he can stay on the court. But this is gonna be one of the better playoff series in the first round, in my opinion. And then in the 1-8 series, as I'm recording this, Minnesota's up 109-83 in the fourth quarter. 7 minutes to go. I think this is a wrap. It's going to be Denver against Minnesota in the first round. And this is going 4 or 5 games. Denver's going to roll over the Timberwolves here. Jokic is going to have Cat and Gobert just they're going to be lost out there. They're going to be in foul trouble, I think. Cat's, if you watch that first play-in game a couple days ago, obviously Cat is not the smartest when it comes to foul trouble, and then he ended up disappearing in the fourth and overtime. And I think that could be happening here. The talent disparity, I think, is just huge. Anthony Edwards, maybe he just had a bad game in that play-in game the other day, but I don't know. They might be able to win one game if there's a big Anthony Edwards game. Kyle Anderson's playing well, and Cat goes off too. They were able to make it a really competitive series last year against Memphis. So we'll have to see, but I think Denver's winning this one in quick fashion. All right, that's it for us today, and thank you all for joining, and we'll see you next time.